So I'm Fernando Antonio Maffei, and the film I screened today was Zavata.
What is Zavata about in your own words?
So Zavata is a love story really from myself. I'm from Italy. Obviously being a British Italian or Britalian filmmaker, I wanted to kind of put us on the map cinematically, a little bit like kind of Sergio Leone or Scorsese done for America. It's kind of, I feel like I'm like a conduit. It's my job to do that, I guess. So going over to Italy and getting the opportunity to work with some cast and crew over there, build relationships. Zavata follows the story of a guy who's a pastry chef who wants to be the world-renowned pastry chef, and we never really know what kind of goes on between him and his sister. Yeah. But we kind of get this idea that something went on when they were younger. She moved away, and then he kind of just keeps on declining her invitation to the restaurant. And then eventually they reconcile their relationship. It was kind of a moment, maybe a journey, I guess, subconsciously in my own life where I was at. Yeah. So I kind of decided to tell the story through film on the resolution.
Oh wow! So what? Quite a personal story.
Yeah, yeah. So at the time, I was kind of dealing with I don't know. I wouldn't say abandonment, but I was dealing with a lot of things that I needed healing. My own kind of well-being. And it was just, I just thought to myself, after being, like, I was in a long-term relationship coming out of that, COVID, everything was just like kind of the world was upside down.
Yeah.
So I went over to Italy. Everyone I was meeting at the time, I was over there to sell a feature. The idea was to find a distribution deal at the Venice Film Festival. Yeah. So which was really cool. It's the second year there with Francesco, who played Francesco, the chef. And I was like, we need to create this film. Yeah. And I got a little idea for a short over here. I want a short. And he goes, what's this about? I said, about a pastry chef. And at the time, I was watching The Bear. The chef in The Bear.
Yes,
so that kind of stuck into my mind. And then obviously going over to Trieste, being introduced to the cake, it all started coming together. And then obviously when you're everywhere I was going, because obviously being an actor, I was like meeting cinematographers, meeting composers, and I was like, well, these are my new friends. Yeah. So we just built this film. And yeah, I flew over in the November. And then I brought my cinematographer Lisa with me. She lives from Berlin, but she lives in Brighton now. So we had some fun over there for a week. We shot the scene of the flashback with the children in that month in the November, and then we decided to go over to shoot the body in the January. Yeah. Obviously, for experience of shooting films, that things are cheaper in January, like higher of cost of films, higher of lenses, equipment. Usually a little bit cheaper in January. So I've kind of realised. I look back now and I think, I must be a cheapskate because everything I filmed is in January. Give the money somewhere else rather than extra money for post, I guess.
No, man, these are the little tips and tricks you need, man, when you're working on a budget.
I think everyone you speak to, it's something I learned from Panny Hire in Birmingham. Yeah. When we first shot a film back in the day, I think it was like 2015. They said to us, like, if you hire stuff, in January, it's cheaper. I was like, oh really? Yeah. So I looked through their price list. I was like, okay, that's like 30% off of that. Man. So it's hire a red camera. It's cheaper, isn't it? So it's costs that still. You're still going to get the same thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly that.
So the only thing you have to deal with in shooting in January is the weather. It'll be a bit bleak.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was rambling on there.
No, I really appreciate your insight. I guess circling back to just getting to Italy, starting from a personal place and then kind of expounding out. I guess the world has a way of making things align in its own way, right? Meeting all these people. What was that like, finding collaborators? What was it about these collaborators that worked for you?
So I was a bit shocked because like a couple I worked with, the actors and two of the actresses that I met didn't speak any English. Yeah. So when I give them dialogue, they were like, "What am I saying?" They wasn't sure what the English meant. They were saying the words. Yeah. And it took me back to going to Italy when I was a child and listening to my cousin sing a song. Now, one of my cousins could sing David Bowie amazingly, and he would sing it and he'd be like, "You sound like Bowie," and he'd be like, "Really?" But then he couldn't speak in English. Yeah. And I was like, you can sing in English, but you can't talk in English. You can now, but at the time it was very interesting. But going to Italy and getting the opportunity to kind of build, create, I felt like it's something that's come within. I've done several shorts and a micro-budget feature here in the UK, which has always had that kind of British-Italian theme running through it. So for now, I felt like I needed to connect with cinematographers, with composers, cinematographers, filmmakers over there to build the bridge. Yeah. So it was an exciting time for me to go over there and do that. Like, I was on holiday to begin with, then I got invited to the Venice Film Festival, so I'd done that, got to learn. So then the people I'm meeting, I'm thinking I'm being called here for a reason. Yeah. And those are the things that we have to I think David Lynch said, when an idea springs, you've got to run with it. And who knows where it's going to take you. It's exciting.
Yeah, but I love that sort of intuition for things. You have that gut feeling about things,
know,
right?
don't you?
I guess I wanted to ask you as well. You mentioned upstairs. First time writing, was it?
Yeah, so I wrote The Taxi with my cousin, but first time I actually got the idea, wrote it myself, and in a short space of time. So I had dyslexia, so all through school I was put in lower group sets and stuff for teaching and whatever, but I think it was because of ADHD maybe. I got diagnosed with that like 2 years ago now, so it's something I'm learning about myself. So with the writing, how it come about was me and Francesco having dinner, both feeling a little bit under the weather because we've just been from Venice Film Festival back home to Trieste where he lives, and I was staying there. Then I had a week over there, and I was sat there and I was thinking, I said, he's an actor. He's been an actor for years. He's been in lots of films like Michael Bay films and loads. And I said to him, nobody knows who you are. And he said, what do you mean? I said, mate, I can come to like Birmingham or Kidderminster and we talk to filmmakers and everyone knows you've worked with someone you know. That's the beauty of the collaborativeness around here. I said, in Trieste, it's like you know other people, but no one really knows who you are. And he was like, yeah. And it was more from the older generations of telling him, like, because he does physio as another job, obviously, because we were all doing other things. Yeah. And I was interested to see, like, where he went. So I sat there, I said, right, I'm going to write a short film. You're going to play the lead. Would you like to produce it with me? And he was like, okay. Because obviously, when you're making a film, it's a cost, isn't it? So I thought, if I can half that, with the help of him, and we create something together. So we all sat there, we had dinner, we had a bottle of wine between us, and he said, we'll have a glass each, and we just went back. And I jumped on the back of this Vespa he had. He dropped me back up at the Airbnb I was staying at. And I just opened my laptop and I was like, I looked at this bottle of wine, I was like, I'll have another glass. So I did open the laptop, started writing this story about this cake, and then I was like, this couple, and then it was him, and he was a chef, and it was his sister. And there was a big scene that I wrote and I really enjoyed making that we took out in the final edit. And it was, in a way, I'm glad I did, because, but then I look back at the festivals that potentially, the ones that we entered, and I'm like, okay, maybe if I would have kept that scene in, it probably would have pushed it. Yeah. But originally, what we were going to do was we were going to keep a scene where we see her the sister derobes herself in front of her brother. All in art. It was nothing no sexual, nothing perverted. It was just mainly because she wanted to teach him how to be a man. And I thought, well, this this was the idea. And I was like, some of the girls were like, oh, I don't know, it's a bit tasteless, And I was like, okay, maybe. Do we need to show it, But then I was like, yeah, why not? It's beautiful, it's art. But then we just took it out really for timing, and obviously when you write scripts and you go through a festival process, you get told things like, make it shorter, do this. And I was like, well, it never fed the story. That scene, it was just really I don't know, wanted to show art. Yeah, so I thought, well, the film's looks artistic anyway. It's not going to take anything away from it. It doesn't really add to it. Yeah. And I think, seeing a lot of shorts over the time, I think that's one bit of advice I would give to other filmmakers is don't get too precious to anything and just imagine yourself as a conduit and whatever's got to come through. All those names are at the end of the film for a reason. They're because it's collaborative, isn't it? Yeah. And I think, especially on the beginning of our journey, we can get too attached. Yeah. And it's important not to.
Yeah, I think that's a great reminder in two ways. Firstly, obviously, don't be too attached. You can cut ideas. You can always bring them back,
of course,
if you're
later.
Distributing it. Yeah, of course. And the other thing is keeping in mind sometimes it is about what will the festival director like, what will the jury like, what will the audience like as well, what are they going to the festival to watch. So there's partly that as well in terms of thinking of the audience. Now, again, circling back to the festivals, Zavata, where is it in this journey right now with the festivals?
So we entered it into Venice Film Festival. It didn't get accepted into the Biennale, but it did go to Venezia Shorts, which we're really proud about. We've had memorable mentions at Folkestone. I won what did I have? Nominated for Best Screenplay. I won a winner Best Screenplay, at Real. So that was really cool. Because obviously the writing thing, I was really over the moon with that. So we were in the festival run. We've entered several festivals, and it's hard to try and keep everybody happy, and but we're having a nice run, and it's exciting to see where it goes.
Yeah, man, that's good to hear. I wanted to ask you, out of curiosity, with Francesco, his mustache, how long did it take him to grow out?
So what we did is we not long. So when we got there, we knew we was going to grow it. We already shot the cemetery scenes in the November. So when we got there, we shot that cemetery scene first, so he could keep his moustache, and then we got rid of it afterwards.
Movie magic.
I'm glad that was there. To be fair, that moustache scene, because it was a whole kind of dealing with the father. It was that little kind of, those little nods. Yeah. I wanted to show it. I didn't want to overtell.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like a fear at the moment where there's a big thing going on in our industry where we're having to narrate the story every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it because obviously people are losing their attention. They want to go on their phone and etc. So I'm on the other side of the fence with that. I think we should stick to the art.
Yeah.
There's a big thing about the Zavata that's gone missing, and it's interesting for me to see in the two countries. Because obviously being, like I said, Britalian, I've got an English mentality and an Italian one.
Yeah.
So with Zavata, seeing how some things have gone missing, like the Renaissance, it was a rebirth of the Renaissance in Italy the year we made the film. So it was like a lot of things were using the floral pattern. If you look at the Italian football shirt, they had it. A lot of it had an echo. So when we went over to Italy, shooting in Trieste, it was obviously very Austrian. You know, so they had all that Renaissance arty feel. So I wanted to bring that to the film. That was my main kind of thing, showing both. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted them talking in English, but it looked Italian. Hence the yellow subtitles and, you know, all that kind of old Italian film. That was the idea.
Okay, yeah, you are showing, not telling, and I really appreciate that, because that's the stuff that sticks with you. You know, if you just start telling people, oh, now he's like accepting his father, now he's accepted that he's his own man, whatever, you know, it doesn't work.
It don't work anymore.
That sticks with you. Oh, he chose to not keep his mustache, and his sister gives a little nod to it. She looks good
on you. Yeah. So she's dealt with her stuff then.
Exactly.
You know.
It's brilliant, man. I really appreciate that, and I love the sentiment. You know, showing, not telling. It's a visual art form at the end of the day, right? Audio, visual, whatever the case is. But you know, it's about showing. Just final one from myself is with Zavata and yourself. What's next with you, and how can people keep up to date with yourself?
Okay, so I've got a couple of TV series that I've been working on, creating. There's a few features that I've been in talks with different collaborators, distributors, investors, if you like. And another short film. I've got some ideas that I want to do, and I just keep thinking we've got to keep on making ourselves, you know, more, give ourselves more of a chance, I guess. Keep knocking on the door, so to speak. So I had this kind of idea for this short film. I started shooting some stuff for it in 2021, just ideas. And then I was like, right, I've got this idea for a script. So I went back and looked at the footage, and I thought, right, I'm going to shoot some proper stuff. Because obviously this is only like messing around on a phone, but I really want to shoot a rich film about this idea. So it was about some cows. So this is kind of a dark comedy. So, I was like, someone said to me yesterday, I said, what's it about? This cows thing idea you've got? I was like, well, I think, I don't know, Afterlife meets Chicken Run, I guess, with cows, really. But it's not going to be animated. It's going to be real live action. Whoa. But yeah, I'm thinking more like, this is my next thing, I think. Hopefully we'll be here next year with it.
Yeah, man.
So,
it's good to
fingers
hear.
crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Wish you the best of luck with that. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.